Next case is John Doe versus trustees of Boston College. So we're going to read this case. This deals with Title IX and students who are being disciplined for alleged sexual conduct issues and due process issues as it relates to that. So let us see what the court has to say. Based on submissions of the parties and arguments offered at the hearing this day, for reasons stated during and reflected during the stenographer's note of the hearing, I find and conclude that plaintiff John Doe has established adequate grounds for the within preliminary injunction relief. This showing has demonstrated that there is a substantial likelihood that John Doe will succeed on his claims that he was deprived of fair process in defendant's adjudication of sexual misconduct charges against him, resulting in sanction of suspension from Boston College enrollment. He was kicked out of the university. That within interlocutory relief, staying the suspension will serve the public interest in a fair process for determination of sexual misconduct charges by institutions of higher education. That the balance of hardships in respect to the interlocutory relief that may have caused respectively to John Doe, the complainant Jane Roe, and defendant's institution would decidedly weigh more heavily upon John Doe if within the interlocutory relief is not granted, as comprised with the significantly less weighty hardship that would be experienced by Jane Roe or by Boston College as a result of the within interlocutory relief affects the deferral of ultimate determination. In other words, we're looking at the balance of hardships. Who's going to be harmed more by this? Is it going to be John Doe going to be harmed more, or Jane Roe / Boston College going to be harmed more? And they're saying it's John Doe that's going to be harmed more. Preserving pedente light the status quo before the litigation, preserving the status quo before the litigation, before the suspension was definitely directed by Boston College, should defendants ultimately prevail in their action despite the prediction of the likelihood of success by John Doe on the merits. So in other words, even if Boston College is ultimately going to win this thing, it still is going to harm John Doe more if we don't grant this relief now. The cognizable harm will be visited upon John Doe should the relief not be granted. In other words, how much he's going to be harmed. Accordingly, it's hereby ordered that the June 18, 2019 suspension upheld by the denial of plaintiff appeal on July the 24th from John Doe is stayed. As further ordered that defendants shall continue to facilitate plaintiff John Doe's enrollment at Boston College under same terms and conditions of enrollment as obtained during the pendency of the unresolved disciplinary action in the spring 2019 semester, including without limitation registration for all classes for fall 2019, which will begin on August 26, 2019, and participate fully in all university activities. And further ordered that the order shall remain in effect during any further order of this court, and by stipulation of the parties, John Doe is relieved of obligation to give a security bond as further ordered. So just basically a quick statement from the court saying that, look, there's a due process issue that has been ordered. You try to kick him out of the university, and we're going to say you can't do that. You can't kick him out of the university. You have to give him due process first. And so he's able to enroll in classes. And I am in favor of due process. I believe in due process for all. Whatever bad things are occurring in life, we have to have due process when the government gets involved, whether that's a college or a city or otherwise. And sexual assault is no different in this respect than any other crime that may be afforded. We have to give due process to all. And it looks like the District Court of Massachusetts felt that wasn't being done. Said, look, you can't kick him out of college until you're done with your process. So, good for the courts, and we have been seeing more of these come into place because due process is important, and Title IX protects everyone of both sexes equally, and so therefore, we have to look out for men on the same exact terms we would women, and therefore, I think that this is a good decision.